All right, good morning, everybody. It's 8 o'clock here in Shenzhen. A little bit later than I wanted to, but it was a late night yesterday. It was a big day today, yesterday, August 5th, where we actually had our relaunch. And also we had some great events helping out a good friend of mine, Mr. Dick Gay, with Sperm Racing Asia. So definitely we're going to have some special guests later on in the show. So definitely stay tuned. Again, I want to thank all our subscribers. I want to thank all the automators and specifically our members who fund basically us, right? So we're independent journalists, and really thank you to all the members that have been supporting us all throughout the years and to our relaunch. And this is your special time to get the membership as well. Just to remind you, to celebrate our launch on August 5th, we now are offering 20% off for annual plans. If you're interested, now is the time to join in. So without much further ado, we're going to get into the show because we've got a very, very packed broadcast today for you. All right, so today we've got the news of the day. We've got two big segments actually of today that we want to cover next. So the first thing we want to say is discuss the AI agents. So AI agents have been a bit naughty. So the autonomous AI agents that we've all been hyping up as the future of modern work just got caught red-handed creating fake identities to trick security reviewers and bypass protocols. So this is not just, this is not just me hyping things up. This is for real. So Britain's AI Security Institute, AISI, essentially the UK's official watchdog, just dropped a report that is pure drama. So the watchdog put advanced systems built on Anthropics Mythos 5 and OpenAI's GPT 5.6 Seoul through a simulated cybersecurity gauntlet to observe their adherence to rules. Well, they did not stick to the rules. After 122 test runs, the watchdog logged 19 complete unauthorized actions spread across 10 specific trials. So bottom line, Anthropics stated it's actively investigating the findings alongside AISI, while OpenAI called for sweeping industry-wide upgrades to how high-stakes model evaluations are conducted. This report is a stark reminder that safety nets remain an active work in progress. If these systems are already whipping out fake IDs during practice runs, the industry needs to have serious, loud conversations before giving the keys to real business infrastructure. So look, at the end of the day, again, unintended consequences here in AI land. We've created something that we may not know how to control. Look, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's not a bad thing necessarily, but we just don't know. And so you just got to be careful. You got to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself with cybersecurity. You got to protect your business. We've talked a lot about that. I personally believe that my hacking was subject to that as well. So you just have to protect yourself. You have to protect your loved ones. You have to protect your business. So definitely a lot of unintended consequences. We are not in Kansas anymore, and you just have to, the genie's out of the bottle, right? So you have to protect yourself and do exactly these things. And as we're discovering these things, some of it is actually pretty interesting from a technological perspective, because these things are running amok and doing things on the internet that most people didn't think that they were going to do. But again, because we're not in Kansas anymore, we just have to find ways to protect ourselves. We just can't put the genie back into the bottle. All right, so that's great. Let's move on to the next bit of news. So we've got the, AI can find bugs 9 times faster than humans, but it's also creating 9 times more of them. Now, what are we finding out? Picture of robot vacuum that, according to new research highlighted by ZDNet, AI-powered vulnerability scanners have gotten terribly effective at doing what they were built to do, scan millions of lines of code in mere minutes to spot hidden security flaws. So the AI scanners surface security holes in an unprecedented pace, far faster than human engineering teams can realistically review a fix. And while finding bugs takes minutes, analyzing them, separating actual emergencies from background noise requires hundreds of human contacts, creating an overwhelming bottleneck for IT departments everywhere. research shows that AI-generated fixes introduce 9 times. Well, if you use AI to fix it, here's the catch: introduces 9 times as many new vulnerabilities as code written by human developers, because AI tools lack the deep security awareness and situational understanding of seasoned engineers. So basically, if you're using AI, you're just as worse off. You're worse. You're even more worse off than before. So our bottom line is AI has proven itself to be a world-class bug hunter, but it's completely reckless bug fixer. Until automated patching systems gain genuine context and security awareness, human judgment remains the MVP. So, look, I don't know if I have anything more to add on that. It is unintended consequences. We did not think that. But on the other hand, I guess what is interesting is human context still matters, human judgment still matters, and that's really incredibly powerful, right? So that is still something that we need to emphasize, and we need to impart and try to get into the system, because ultimately that is really important, and that's what separates us from, everybody else, right? That's what makes us special as human beings, not just human beings, but as people that actually have judgment. So this definitely is a good thing. This proves our worth over a long term. And this is a larger issue as well. I think what we'll find is that human beings actually have a place in this whole AI spectrum. We just need to find our place within this right now. Everything's all about hype, and everything's all about AI agents, and everything's about autonomous. But we will inherently find our own value. We just have to have time to arrive to that. Okay, all right, on to the next section. Okay, now we are around the AI block. Oh yes, we're pretty busy here. We've got a lot of news to cover. Pretty interesting stuff here. So first of all, we're going to go to screenshot C, I believe. Yes. All right, so we have Texas governor orders audit of new AI data centers, because they've realized that 400 gigawatts of power is a lot. Duh, you didn't think that way, huh? So the state already hosts more than 500 data centers. This is my state as well. I grew up in Sugar Land, Texas, off of Houston. So for those in Sugar Land, Texas, woohoo, right? I love Texas. Yeehaw. But it's a huge state. I believe it's the second largest state other than Alaska. That's what was taught actually when we're in Texas history. And then a fun fact here in Texas is that we actually have state history classes. I think Hawaii is the only other state that actually has its own state history classes. Nobody else has that. And that's just because we try to be independent at some point, and there's always calls to be independent. But anyway, that's a different issue here. But Governor Greg Abbott has ordered that Texas utility commissions must conduct a review of any proposed new data centers in the state. In response to the order, the Public Utility Commission of Texas, PUCT, acronyms, must collect information about potential new data centers' ownership and finances, as well as their planned power needs, to minimize the negative impact on residents. Texas is home to 521 data centers, the second most in the country, behind only Virginia. I lived in Virginia as well. A lot of land there, but geez, okay, that is interesting. So I think part of it is, and it doesn't go any further than there. I think, look, it could be an issue around, protecting residents, right? So it's sucking the power. The Texas power grid really isn't that good, right? So it's pretty old, and it needs to be updated every so often. A couple winters ago, right? It was just really, it shut down, right? And the electrical grid shut down as well. So it's really terrible. So it could be that, right? It could be that to protect that. It could be, when it says financing, it needs to figure out, like, are foreign actors actually taking advantage of ownership and owning foreign assets, right, on domestic soil? It could be that as well, a national security issue as well. So it could be a couple of different things, right? The mandate could have come from lots of different areas. So we don't know what it is, but ultimately it is a good thing to have some scrutiny around these data centers, whether it's a national security issue, whether it is a residence issue. Some oversight is good around that generally. So good job, Texas, on doing that. But that is a fun fact. I did not know that Texas has the second most data centers. Good job. All right, so on to the next one. We're going to go to the screenshot D, I believe, and this is about SpaceX's first public earnings statement. So I don't know how many of you actually invested in SpaceX, but I don't think we've been doing very well because of that. So I think it's, right, this article is really about public expenditure. So it has published its first earnings report since going public on June 12th. It's increased revenue, which is good, okay. But it's very expensive to run an AI company. It generated 2.56 billion in revenue, increase of 247%. But let's see, where it doesn't really actually say what the numbers are in. Well, sorry, it does say. This is the AI expenses specifically, but it does have cloud service agreements. It has operating losses. It has shaved the gap between its revenue and operating expenses by more than half, reducing net losses to 541 million, down from 1 billion. So I believe that's the net losses, 541 million, down from 1 billion. So it's not so interesting, honestly. I mean, it is very expensive to run an AI company, but shaved it from half, 541 billion. Yes, that's a lot. Sorry, I'm just gonna move on from here. I don't think that's so interesting. Overall, ultimately, I know it's very expensive to run an AI company. I think most people know that. I think we went through that kind of yesterday as well. But I don't think that really impacts you and me. So we're going to move on to the next article, the next story here. We are going to do E here. AI pricing crisis. Nobody from a tech buzz article, nobody knows what to charge. Enterprise buyers can't control AI costs while providers struggle with pricing models. The AI industry faces a fundamental business problem that's complicating adoption. Companies buying AI services are struggling to predict and control their spending. That's 100% true. While providers, including OpenAI and Microsoft, are still figuring out how sustainable pricing models work. That's true. We're actually not quite sure actually what to charge actually with these whole new things. OpenAI charges by the token, Microsoft bundles AI into existing subscriptions, and Google offers tier basing, and also Gemini, right, which is actually generally free. So this tokenomics and how to actually talk about that really does complicate things. And so this article really goes about like talking about different people struggling to figure out how these different tokens work. And I think that's generally it. I think that's my view on this is, look, there are some very clever finance folks over here that will probably use AI, use some sophisticated modeling to get this right. I don't think that's such a hard problem to figure out. I think it's an evolving problem. I think we'll figure it out and it will change, but I don't think it's that difficult at the end of the day. It cannot be that difficult. And will change. I think that's the thing. The inevitability, or as the shitification, if you will, of making things worse off, right? May probably happen. They will charge more tokens for less access or whatever it may be, but they will figure it out. Trust you me, they will figure it out. These big tech companies know how to charge, so don't worry. They will certainly get there. All right, let's move on to screenshot F. AMD's AI-powered revenue is not what the market expected. Okay. So shares fell nearly 9% in extended trading, suggesting that investors are looking for an even stronger outlook. So I guess this is all really about NVIDIA, right? And so they expected kind of AMD to kind of have the NVIDIA fairy dust. And so, yeah, forecast quarterly revenue above estimates, but it just didn't go. So the hype is there, right? Ultimately, I think the hype is there to try to match NVIDIA and try to be another NVIDIA. That's a trap most companies cannot be. Most companies have their own trajectory as well. So It's a trap. It's unfortunate, but well, shareholders and these things are short term. I think companies built to last are much more long term, much more resilient. So AMD just needs to continue and just continue driving forward and do what it needs to do to win, essentially. Okay, all right, on to the next one. I believe we're screenshot G. Trump advisors tell firms they will not safely test open weight models, sources say. So this was a big story about a week ago, really open weight models or closed weight models. And so the US models, American models are closed weight, and the Chinese models are generally open weight models. And I think the only thing that I see is here is basically the administration says that they will not safety test open weight models. They're basically going to let these open weight models kind of go, right? And be free to the market, which I think is a good move. I think there was a reaction to try to get open weight models to be regulated. There was a piece which was, I think it was this whole Chinese model saying there was it's probably anti-Chinese, anti-tariffs, or more trade issues, and so protectionist issues to try to kind of force the advantage of American models. But it's good that the Trump administration just decided not to go down that path and decided to pursue being competitive. So I think that's ultimately a very good thing for the future. So that's great. All right. Next is, where am I? I've lost count. Nope. Okay. H. House spending records. A TechBuzz article ChatGPT becomes capital go-to AI for legislation. House spending records reveal OpenAI's ChatGPT dominates congressional AI use. House spending records reveal that ChatGPT staffers are using chatbot to draft memos, summarize complex legislation, handle constituent communications. I just want to see some numbers. Memos, blah, blah, blah. Look, I mean, this is anecdotal, right? So I think that's kind of interesting. I wish there were some numbers and say, what is the heavy usage? Is it, I don't know what? It's just saying use, memos, analysis. And this makes sense, right? I mean, I worked in Near the Hill. I was a Beltway bandit, so I understand there's complex legislation. There's a lot of information. And this is really where ChatGPT and AI really thrives, right? So this is ultimately a good thing. What it speaks to, though, is kind of interesting, is the ability for, these AI companies or very complex old industries to be disrupted by AI, and not necessarily like directly, but through the analysis and enabling humans to be able to do more faster, right? Using AI. So ultimately, I think that is a good thing. To some degree, is it democratizing kind of really hard, difficult jobs like that? Maybe. Like that, academia, making it slightly easier for people to break in. I think to some degree there is some of that as well. So that's kind of a larger story, a larger thrust of interesting kind of perspective and stuff. But again, that's a different issue altogether. Staffers are using it. I can definitely see that. And there's a lot of wastage. There's a lot of information there. Totally makes sense. Okay. All right. We are on H. Screenshot I. So, cybersecurity firm warns AI systems face unprecedented both cyber weapon and prime target. AI systems face unprecedented attacks while powering threats. Yep. Yep, that's right. Dual use, right? Using AI to basically to protect itself and don't. So I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this. We've covered this as well on our end. We think that, look, it's whether it's we talked about this earlier today, right? Whether it's like protecting you sufficiently, no. AI is being used against you, yes. I think one just needs to have a hard look into one's own system, right? And don't think of that AI will solve everything. It won't. And if there isn't something that will solve it, it may be better to put it offline, because otherwise it will bite you in the ass, right? Basically. Yeah, that's generally what I think. Okay, all right, moving on. We are going to here. The Metro Bank customer fights for £14,000 refund after AI fraud. I think this is a pretty interesting kind of space, right? So if there is fraud committed, who is responsible? I think there is some of that as well. Lender was told money was being taken without authorization, with cash used to buy credits for AI Claude chatbot. So a Metro Bank customer, this is a Guardian article in the UK, has told of his fight to get more than £14,000 back after systems failed to stop a fraud involving the AI chatbot Claude. 14,000, specifically £244 taken from his bank account, use buying credits to use Claude, and yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if okay, it's not an AI, I got that wrong. It's not an AI actually that took it. It's just somebody took it and then buy credits on Claude. And so it was not refunded. So I think that's, look, that is a different issue. It was a third party getting the credits. That's one thing. Actually, what I'm talking about is AI actually took your credits and did something with it. Where is that liability? Who is in charge of that? Whose fault is the bank? Take responsibility? Probably not. Is it AI? Probably not. I think that's the interesting part. That's the part that I actually would probably say that most people have not figured out, or at least not thought about. And I think that's the thing that will need to be discovered and prosecuted and really thought about actually in the future. So this is a pretty open and shut case. Somebody else did it, paid for something. It's paying for Claude credits or paying for, I don't know, Jiffy Lube is exactly the same thing. It's the same idea, really. Okay, so I think we are on J. Is it J? No. Okay, we are almost done. Trump administration drafting ban on Chinese data center devices, sources say. Drafting a ban on U.S. imports on Chinese data center components to protect the infrastructure that undergirds. Let's see, bans imports of new Chinese optical transceivers, which allows data to travel over fiber optic cables at the speed of light within data centers. So I think this is the national security issue, right? To try to do that, both a national security issue and also trying to be competitive at the same time as well. But let's just say both, together, the national security issue and competitive at the same time. So to some degree, much ado about nothing. Another one, it's normal. I definitely understand that as well. So it is what it is there. Okay. And then moving on to our last one around the AI block. Apple seeks preliminary injunction against OpenAI in trade secrets case. Because barring two former employees in OpenAI from assessing, acquiring, using, or disclosing alleged confidential information as it moves ahead with a trade secrets case. Last month, Apple sued OpenAI and two former employees, both now working for OpenAI, alleging misappropriation of its trade secrets to benefit the chatbot's foray into consumer hardware. So yes, just to let everybody know, it was a few weeks ago, that's correct, it alleged that basically these Apple employees actually went and stole something from Apple and now is sharing it with OpenAI. Not much ado about nothing. I think it is pretty interesting. We shall see what that means, but I definitely will anticipate more of this going on, of sharing, stealing, competition across different companies, especially as Apple wants to improve its AI. It definitely makes a lot of sense what it wants to do. All right, we're done with around the AI block section. Why don't we head on to the next section? Okay, all right, we're back here at the trending tools section. We've got 3 tools for you, I believe, 4 tools for you today, and why don't we take a look at those? Okay, trending tools. We've got 4. On-chain asset generation. Really Art is an AI-powered Web3 media design platform built for crypto creators and NFT communities. Is anybody still using crypto and NFTs? It combines an AI canvas editor, image studio, and NFT lab powered by OpenAI. Is anybody still on OpenAI? For autonomous contract pipelines, Deal Draft AI is a full lifecycle contract generation and client negotiation engine for independent contractors and boutique agencies. For privacy first, voice dictation, OpenTypeless is a free open source AI voice typing desktop application for Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. And for text to game creation, Liddy is a zero code HTML game generator that translates natural language prompts into playable browser mini games in seconds. So definitely, this is something that we are recommending. Definitely use it. Let us know what you think, if it's good, if it's not good. Let us know in the comment section below. And that way, we can all be beneficiaries of your experience and we can choose whether we'd like to use it or not. On to the next section. All right, we've got the workout of the day today. We've got one workout of the day, and I believe we are, if I get this right, good. This is actually the first one I got right today. The AI Guide to Finding Your Perfect Customers. Let's see. Let's talk about something every business owner secretly finds. Find people that actually want to buy your stuff. Traditional market research is expensive. Definitely, I used to be a consultant for that. So you can use AI, build your customer detective file. Something sample like I sell sustainable bamboo toothbrushes. Who are my ideal customers? Give me their age, interest, and where they hang out online. And inspire competitors. Let AI find the hidden gold and actually find the customer list. And then analyze this data and find the patterns. What do my best customers have in common? And then create synthetic humans. That's pretty interesting to test your ideas. And then I would probably just sell as well. But then it's basically using AI to find both humans, to find your ideal customer segment, and to be able to do something with it and test your ideas with these synthetic humans rather than actually not humans. So very, very cool, very interesting piece of mix here. Yeah, very interesting stuff here, and definitely use that. Let us know what you think about the workout of the day. If it works or it doesn't work, we appreciate your comments nonetheless. Okay, all right, we are done with today's segment. Hopefully you enjoyed today's broadcast. We had some special guests coming in, and hopefully we're gonna do more of these as well, where you have special guests. You can see a little bit more here, and it's a little bit richer. And yeah, it's help us on the subscriber count. Share this video with other people as well. And just to, again, remind everybody, 20% off right now, limited time for annual plans only. So definitely sign up and be a member. And I'll see you in the next broadcast.